let's bring in our very special guest remotely. It's our buddy Greg Powers. So let's try this. All right, we haven't done this in a minute. Let's see if we can do this, Powers. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers, and this is This Week
in Recruiting.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter, Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. Wow. I got to be on.
Wow.
Something I've realized, Powers, and I don't know if you agree with this. Chicken Express is great every day. The fact that we do this segment on Wednesday is problematic for me because Wednesday does feel like the perfect Chicken Express day.
Oh, man, it's Chicken Express season if you ask me, because when 7-on-7 starts, that's the time that I get off of Dr. Pepper and get on the Chicken Express sweet tea. And I've got a gallon of it sitting right now in my refrigerator. So I'm back on sweet tea for the summer.
Do they still do the actual gallon, or do they do the bag? A lot of people have transitioned to gallon bags.
They still do the gallon.
The gallon, okay.
Man, you know why? Because they care about the customer.
Absolutely.
Because the jug is...
It's better.
The jug is better. Jug's better. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete. A lot to get to today, Powers. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise, let's go to the Houston area to talk about a Klein Force 2023 defensive end, Brad Spence. 6'2", 225, about to pick up his 30th offer. He picked up offers this week from Arizona State, Colorado State, Louisiana, Howard, Alabama State. He's already got offers from Texas and SMU and Colorado, Mississippi State. He's the real deal, and he's a guy that, we talk about the eyeball test. No doubt about the eyeball test with Brad Spence.
Yeah, and is it fair to call a guy that's closing in on 30 offers a sleeper? I guess it is, from the standpoint that, we've talked about this so many times, leading up to what's going to be what I think is one of the most wild national signing days we've seen in a while in 2023. This 2023 class in Texas is special. And Brad Spence is a guy that we haven't probably shined enough spotlight on over the last few months. This is one of the most physically imposing guys in the entire state. He really passes the eyeball test. He's one of those hybrid defensive end outside linebackers. He does a lot of, more naturally standing up and getting after the ball downhill on tape, but could probably grow into be more of a guy that could spend some time with his hand in the dirt, but just a guy that you'd like to see pin his ears back, get after the quarterback. But I have to tell you, I really like his ability to chase down the run. We talk about these hybrids all the time, and I think that a lot of the times we're like, oh, well, he's a pass rushing specialist. Well, Brad Spence can do that, but I love his aggression towards the football and limiting the opposition's rush attack. And that's what really makes him special to me. And he has that frame to really lower the boom once he gets to the ball carrier. And keep an eye on his younger brother. He has a younger brother, outside linebacker Trent Spence, already 6'3", 200, who's just a freshman or getting ready to be a sophomore at Klein Forest next season.
Yeah, apologies and condolences to the Spence food budget. Tough scene there with Brad Spence and his brother Trent Spence, but keep an eye on Brad Spence, 2023 defensive end out of Klein Forest. Let's get to our commit of the week. And finally, I've been begging you for years to get the Coppell Cowboys on This Week in Recruiting. Cowboy fight never dies. Braxton Myers, the star cornerback out of Coppell, has committed to USC over offers from places like Arkansas, Auburn, Clemson, and LSU. He's number 24 on the DCT of Hot 100. He's a 4-star prospect, according to us. And look, I don't want to say that he's special, but he does go to Coppell, and that certainly sets him apart.
Well, it's interesting. He picked USC over a pretty good array of schools, Arkansas, Auburn, Clemson, and LSU. His father played at Alabama, but Alabama didn't make that final cut, so that was pretty interesting to me. He's going to go play his college ball for Lincoln Riley out west, who probably built a pretty good relationship with him at OU before he decided to go and take over the reins for the Trojans program. Myers is one of those guys who is technique sound. He really understands how to lock down the opposition. He's a big physical guy at the cornerback position, all of 6'1", 185. I think he could probably play some safety if he needed to, but why waste his skills there when he can take you on one-on-one and lock you down? That's a pretty important skill set. So USC got the top-rated commitment from the state of Texas this week, but there were also a couple of other really big commitments as it relates to Texas programs. Cordell Russell recommitted to TCU. He's a big physical wide receiver, and the Horned Frogs the Horned Frogs staff had him committed at SMU and TCU. He decommitted, but after surveying the landscape, he's back in the fold now with Sonny Dykes over in Fort Worth. And Baylor picked up a big commitment from Mineola athlete Dawson Pendergrass. So it was a really busy week in the Lone Star State as some big commitments came off the board.
Yeah, but let's be clear. The biggest one is Coppell's Braxton Myers committing to USC.
How many times are you going to say it?
I just don't know. I mean, I can't recall a bigger commitment, maybe ever. Anyway, big news there for Braxton
I wasn't
Myers.
trying to lessen the importance of that commitment. I wasn't trying to lessen it.
It's huge. Cowboy fight never dies. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, next athlete here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TFT. Whatever. If there was a Lano commit, you'd be doing the same thing.
Oh, dude, I would be repping the flag. We're just waving it over here.
Let's move on to our underclass.
Let's make this pact. Let's make a pact. If there's a Lano commit, they can be they can get all the honors in the notebook for
even like underclassmen of the week.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like he's a senior. Let's get to our underclassmen of the week, the aforementioned underclassmen of the week. Let's go to Frisco Centennial to talk about their soon-to-be junior running back Harry Stewart III. He picked up an offer this week from Texas A&M. He's already got an offer from Baylor. This is a guy who ran for 1,800 yards as a sophomore last year for Frisco Centennial and is obviously shooting up recruiting charts. If A&M is noticing you, and especially I would say if A&M is noticing you at the running back spot, then you're doing something right if you're about to be a junior.
I'd have to check my notes, but I think this is the second running back offer that they've made in the class of 2024. They've also extended, or at least in the state of Texas, they've also extended an offer to Jeremy Payne out at Fort Bend Hightower. So these two guys also have a very similar skill set to me. They're both in that 5'10", 200-pound range and are very electric with the football in their hands, have great open field moves, and Harry Stewart especially is a great pass catcher coming out of the backfield. And when his first two offers are both of the P5 level, coming from in-state, one from the SEC and one from the Big 12, I think we're really just starting to see the tip of the iceberg on what's going to happen in his recruitment. He's been on our radar for a while. He was the district 5-5A newcomer of the year in 2020 and started as a freshman. So he's been picking up, at least locally, as local here as I live in Frisco, he's been picking up a lot of attention and a lot of people know who he is, and he's just now starting to break out. So it was a perfect timing to be able to have him be the underclassman of the week. Be surprised if he's a name that, most people are familiar with by the time he signs his name on the dotted line of a letter of intent.
Get to know the name Harry Stewart, the running back there from Frisco Centennial, picked up an A&M offer this week. Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week is Reid Mikeska, the tight end from Bridgeland, one of the top targets for Connor Wigman the past couple of years. He has been a longtime Clemson commit. That is no more. He has decommitted from Clemson. He's reopened his recruitment. That's going to take some sifting through, considering he has 45 offers. And a guy who now has opening things up. He's the number 2 tight end in the state, according to our rankings at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And suddenly wide open there with Reid Mikeska, a guy who certainly is no stranger to high-flying offenses.
Got to think Texas A&M and Connor Wigman are in his ear about coming to College Station, but one team I'm really keeping a close eye on in this now is Oklahoma. They extended him an offer just a matter of days before or hours before he decommitted from Clemson. He's already scheduled an official visit to go see OU. So this is a program I'm really watching very closely in Mikeska's recruitment. He's also scheduled an official visit to go see Florida on June 17th, so he has 2 of his NCAA allowable 5 official visits already on the books. It'll be interesting to see how this one now plays out. Will he take his time, or will he find that perfect fit once he steps on campus and call it? Obviously, he's not a guy that's afraid to make the early call if he feels like he's found his destination. And right now, I just kind of feel like this is OU's to lose. I mean, with 45 scholarship offers, there's a lot of other pokers in the fire to try to get him to reconsider that. But right now, just based on the timing of everything, it seems like the Sooners are in pretty good shape here.
One guy who's always in pretty good shape is Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter at NextLevelD1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Powers, I miss you desperately. Please come in next Wednesday so that I'm just not sad all the time. Pickle will tell you I've just been sad all day knowing that you're not coming in. So
You've been sad.
yeah, I know you've been crestfallen. So
Miss you, bud.
I miss you guys too, and I'll try to be there next week. I'll do my best.
thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. There he goes,
See ya.
Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete, our recruiting analyst here for This Week in Recruiting.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.